Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video. So I just played a game versus Daut and I wasn't streaming it, but I decided to go back over it and cover it for you guys, just to commentate over the game. Because it was such an interesting game on steppe. I was mayans and he was persians, and it really came down to decision making, and there wasn't a lot of crazy micro. There wasn't a lot of action in terms of fighting with units. However, there was a lot of tactical thinking, and we were each responding to each other's moves, kind of like a game of chess where he would do something, then I would do something, and then he would respond, so on and so forth. And in the end, like I said, it pretty much came down to just some small decisions and maybe some army composition, um, you know, things. Before we hop into the game, though, I'm just going to say a quick reminder that if you want to join my Discord and get access to plenty of my builders, similar to the one that I showcased a few days ago on the YouTube channel, feel free to do so. I'm going to leave the link to my Discord in the description below. Please note, though, that you have to be a sub to my Twitch in order to get access to those build orders. But yeah, I highly encourage you guys to check them out and improve your gameplay using them. And one last thing, I will leave a link to Daut's Twitch in the description as well, so you guys can check out this game from his perspective. He streamed it, and he really enjoyed the game as well. Let's hop into it here. I'm going to skim through. I'm going to fast forward through most of it because, like I said, there's not a lot of action going through. So I'm playing here as in the blue as mayans, and it is steppe. Steppe, if you're not familiar with it, you start with a scout and no TC. So I'm going to do my TC here at the back, and it's going to be on a stone and a wood. He's going to do a similar build. He's going to get it on the wood in the back. And let's just fast forward here. The dark age is very standard. I decided not to go for deer. I was thinking about going for deer myself, but I decided against it because I was afraid that maybe, instead of the villagers going to the deer, I decided against it because I figured maybe he would go for a dark age rush with militia, and I didn't want to be all the way out here without loom, so I just stayed on the closer berries. Not sure if that was a mistake or not on my part, but maybe just playing it safe. That was the scout just running into my TC there. I didn't bother reacting. So yeah, we're both going about our standard builds, and we'll see in a second. The first move, I remember I was talking about this like a game of chess. The first move will be made by him, and then I'll show you how I will react to it. And I don't know if it's the right reaction or not, but like I said, it developed the game in an interesting fashion. So I go up to feudal here, intending to go for an archer rush or just a fast feudal in general. And Daut, instead of going for fast feudal, unless he's got a lot of food, he's going to make the first move and wall up. He's going to wall up. He's taking some deer outside, so he played a bit risky. He's going to wall up his map, and his map is pretty good. He's got wood lines, all around. Pretty easy to wall. He's going to keep his golds nice and safe here. And so that was his first move. To react to this, to respond to this, I'm going to drop down a couple ranges. You'll see my scout. I know exactly what's going on at this point in time. Gonna go to my fog of war. I was just kind of trash talking him there. I was saying use more vills for the wall because he was using like 10 vills, not 10, but like 4 or 5 vills to wall. So I'm aware that he's fully walling, and I'm gonna respond by making 2 archer ranges. In hindsight, I think I made these a little too defensive. Maybe a little bit further up would be better. 2 archer ranges, and I'm gonna try and break through with some feudal archers. All right, so let's see what my archer play can bring. Pretty standard build order here. We got 10 on wood. Okay, 9 on wood. At the top, and only 1 lumber camp because I'm using the TC as the other one. Berries and gold. 2 ranges with mayans, obviously get cheaper archers, so this is a pretty standard play. But I'm obviously going to run into walls, and I would try to break in, but you will see that he would just re-wall behind and keep himself safe. So at this point, no one's lost a unit, but a lot of things have happened. The game is not even. I actually say the advantage is in his favor, as long as he doesn't take any damage from my archer rush. Then he is actually in the lead, simply because he's going to be able to get the castles faster and then drop down TCs and get a villager lead, which will translate into an economy lead and later on a military lead if I do not, do my best to respond to his move with one of my own moves. So at the moment, he just walling up, keeping himself safe. I'm trying to break in. He senses the danger. He's half up the castle, drops down a second later falls. So really good reaction from Daut so far. He's doing exactly what he has to do to keep my archers out. I'm desperately trying to break in, and now I've made peace with the fact that I can't break in, and I just run back. Now at this point, he does hit Castle Age, and he is not dropping a TC, but just making a few knights to get control of the map first, to force my archers back. I don't waste time, I just run back myself right away. Maybe I could have stayed longer around here, but I was kind of worried that he would go 2 stable knights and go like very heavy on them. He instead just made a couple, and so I just once again decided to play it safe. Alright, so now it's my turn to react. So he's booming, he's adding TC at home. It's my turn to react at home with one of my own moves. Notice how I have the resource to go castle, but I don't really have any action or anything to do versus the knights or any way to break into his base at the moment. So I'm just going to sit back behind my walls and go up to the castle age. But then I have to make another decision, because if I go up to castle age, again, I'm way later than him. I'm just keeping his knights out at the moment. If I go up to castle age way later than him, and I start to try and boom back in the game, add in my own town centers, that's not really going to end well for me, because I'm just going to be behind my opponent, who's doing the same thing, which is booming with multiple town centers. They're coming up for him. Also, Persians get faster working town centers, so we'd have more builds. And so simply, if I try to boom behind it, I'm never going to catch up, and I will lose the game for sure. So I'm going to have to find another solution to this. I have a big army. That's one thing I'm playing with. I have, what is this, 29 crossbows, or 29 archers, soon to be crossbows. And I'm thinking, you know what? Instead of trying to boom, let's go for a fast Imperial Age. Let's go for a fast Imperial Age, and let's try to make use of my army to try and do some damage, enough to bring it back into my favor, alright? So that's going to be my plan. Take a look at the build count here. 39 for me, 50 and counting for Daut. So Daut has a massive villager lead. And for that reason, I'm not going to boom back into the game. I have to actually try something else. And I go with, like I said, the faster imp. He has the siege workshop at the perfect time. Mangonel, this will defend against my crossbows. Should I have went for crossbows? However, I instead delayed my upgrades. So again, this is kind of like 2 moves in 1 for me. So I walled up, went for castle age myself. He responds with a siege workshop because he knows I have a lot of archers. But then I respond by just going fast imp and staying at home, not risking my archers out in the field, and making his Mangonel essentially useless because it's not doing anything at the moment. So he responded really well. This Mangonel is perfectly timed by Daut. However, based on my strategy, and again, I had no way of knowing that he had this, and he had no way of knowing that I was going to go fast imp. But just based on strategy, I'm able to actually get an advantage there, make his Mangonel useless. But now he's got still the village advantage, 65 to 42 for me. And he's probably starting to suspect something at this point. He's probably thinking, you know what, I haven't seen his crossbows. He's been in castle age for 2 minutes. I am, that is. And so now Daut is probably thinking, I'm going for a fast imp. You could probably tell from my score as well. It's starting to get lower and lower. So he's going to try and move out and put some pressure. And probably make his way to Imperial Age himself. He might stop making builds. He definitely stopped making knights a long time ago. And now his plan is just to go up to Imperial Age himself and hopefully defend my Arbalest and try to win it with the bigger economy in the Imperial Age. Alright, so let's see how it plays out here. Again, not much happens here. I decide I want to try and move out, but this is not a very strong army currently. I mean, it's strong, don't get me wrong, but Mangonels should be able to push it back. And I don't want to take any risks at the moment. I'm just going to walk back. I see the Mangonels. I think about out-microing if it's just 1. But I saw 2 and decided not to risk it. I'm waiting for my upgrades. I got ballistics. I already have thumb ring. I have both attack upgrades. And take a look at my eco. 10% left to imp. I stopped making villagers in order to afford the important upgrades. So I'm going to go for bracer first, then arbalest, or then chemistry and then arbalest. But usually you should get arbalest first. In any case, bracer's coming down. Then I get chemistry. And now Daut, how does he respond to this? He does another brilliant move. He instead of just constantly making knights and villagers, he cuts down villager production, clicks up to the Imperial Age, and so now he reacted to my fast imp by going up to imp himself and buying some time with his army. Notice how he's attacking me. Even if it's not going to do a whole lot, he's just going to buy himself a little bit of time, and that's exactly what he needs at the moment, just until he can get to Imperial Age. Alright, so one mistake I think from Daut is keeping this open. There was a small hole. Look where he made his stables as well. Brilliant move, because then I cannot deny them. I can never deny these stables. These stables will go up. He's planning to go for Cavalier and Imp. And so I walk in. Of course, I have to do damage. And like I said, I think this might have been the biggest mistake from Daut, leaving himself open. Build count is 83 for him and 42 for me. So he's got double my villagers, but I have the tech lead. I have got the army lead. And let's see what I can do with that army lead. So right away, I'm picking up a few builds. I'm idling a lot of economy, especially farms. It's important to idle farms because he's going to go for food units. But he already has a lot of economy already stored up. The plate binding armor coming in. Doing 3 stable Cavalier, 4 stable Cavalier at the back. Very important, again, from Daut that he made at the back. That was really smart. And I'm getting some picks here, maybe some small slip-ups from Daut, but he didn't lose a whole lot of those. He lost maybe 5, 10 tops from all my pressure, which, considering how many he had, it's really not a big deal. Alright, so this game is very, very close. If anything, perhaps even in Daut's favor at the moment, because of his boom. He's still up 30 vills, and he's going to have soon the army that he needs to wipe out my army. So now I'm thinking I want to do as much damage as I want, and I don't really know. Take a look at my Fog of War. I don't really know what Daut's doing. I see a mangonel in here. I'm thinking maybe he's going Onager. At this point, I was thinking he's going Onager. And so I was just trying to idle as many farms, kill as many villages as possible. And I was watching out for the mangonel shot here. I knew he was going to eject it. I just didn't know when. I think he picks a good time. Yeah, I just looked away. He got a really nice shot there. And in come the Cavalier. So, brilliantly done from Daut to defend my Fast Imp Arbalest. So that was my first move in Imperial Age, was the Arbalest. And he defended it with, again, going faster Imp himself and going for Cavalier. So now my next move, well, I get some more vills here, is to run back with all my Arbalest. You see me put instantly everything back because I cannot efficiently trade versus these Cav. These Cav will clear me up. And immediately, I make another move. So he responds with Cavalier. I respond instantly with Barracks and Pikemen. I want to go for Halberdier and Arbalest as my composition now. And then we'll see how he responds when he scouts this out. But for now, Daut has the map. Daut is moving out instantly. He doesn't waste time. Notice he doesn't waste time. And he's moving directly across the map to see what damage he can do to my economy, or if he can thin out some more of my army. Now he scouts Barracks. He can probably expect me to go Halberdier at this point. He thinks about going in, but I wall him out, and there's not really a whole lot he can do to kill my Arbalest if they're behind walls. So notice I have a couple stray vills, but I wall him out. So these Cav, because they're melee units, I'm able to easily wall them out. And I even just hide these two in the corner. He never sees these, I don't think. I kind of just hide them in the corner there. So I survive with most of my army. And now I'm turtling up. Behind this, what is Daut doing? Daut is taking the time to expand his map and take his gold. Notice how he's not doing anything different. He's only sticking with Cav because he doesn't really have a reason to do anything different. He hasn't really scouted any transition of mine. Except, actually, now he knows for sure that I'm going for Pikemen or Halberdier, which is exactly what I'm doing. So let's see how Daut will react to this. I imagine maybe some range units will come out and play to try and counter the Halberdier. For now, nothing, just taking the gold. Again, adding in more Cav. Notice how he's not investing his resources into too many things. He's just kind of getting economy and upgrades. And instantly goes for the ranges. Well, not instantly, but as fast as possible, goes for the ranges to counter my helps. So again, I went for Arbalest at the start of it. He responded with Cavalier. I responded with Helps. He responds with range units. We don't know what he's going to go for. If he's going to go for Trash Expo, or if he's going to go for Skirmishers. We'll see. I think in this case, Skirmishers is a smarter choice because I have a lot of Arbalest. He's going to go for a castle in the front to buy himself some time. And we'll see how that plays out for him. So again, Halberdier kicked in. Now he knows for sure he cannot fight this army. I have the stronger army now, but if we compare the population, I'm at 102. Daut is at less than 100. But keep in mind, he's got way more villagers. 90 villas for him, only 56 for me. So the situation is the same. I have the stronger military, but he's got the better economy. And so I'm taking some decent fights here. But as long as he doesn't lose all his army, then he should be fine with the better economy. So let's see what he's going to do. He transitions into the ranges, as I said. And so now I'm sticking with Halbs. Again, I've got no reason. I've got no reason to do anything different at the moment because I haven't scouted my opponent doing anything that I'm worried about. Take a look at what I see. I see only Cavalier. I see a castle. And so now I'm thinking I'll mine stone for a castle myself. But I'm not thinking I need to do any other switch because Arbalest and Halbs should be good against Cavalier. And that's all I know that he has. Score is still neck and neck. I go back in to do some more damage now. Now I have the Halbs, so he cannot jump on me with the Cavalier. Notice how we have the same situation from before, but this time he cannot use this Cavalier to clear my Arbalest because I've got some Halbs. I will trade cost effectively in that fight. I also have more Arbalest. Alright, so I'm able once again to do more damage with my higher military. This doesn't mean I'm automatically winning now because he still has double my bills. I'm only on the 1 TC. And again, I'm kind of focusing on the gold because I need a lot of gold to get to my, expensive units, potentially eagles later, to counter his range units. So now I'm finally scouting the range units. I don't know what he's going for. I'm thinking it could be skirms, it could be archers, crossbow. Not sure yet. So again, no reason to do anything special at the moment. I'm just going to stick with my composition. Again, notice how I'm prioritizing upgrades rather than too much mass. I have resources, but I'm not spending them too fast. I'm prioritizing upgrades first, because if I just make a lot of units and he ends up countering, like let's say I make 40 halbs and he ends up countering them with skirms, well then I wasted all my resources on halb. So I'm just making enough units so he cannot jump on me, but I'm not over investing into them. So now Daut is going for some skirmishers. He's got, what is that, 20 maybe total skirms, and he's got a few cav, 10 cav, not making any more for the time being. I pick off a few more vills. It's a theme this game where me picking off vills where I can, but the vill count is still in his favor by 40. Alright. Population though is neck and neck, so this game is very even. Even though the score says he's 400 points ahead, I still think the game is very even. So now I think I make a mistake myself here. I get a little bit too, I guess, overzealous with my army. I'm trying to do too much, and now the scrims come out. Luckily, it doesn't have ballistics; it just kicks in, so I maybe saved a couple Arbalest from that. I bring in my army at good time, but I lost, what is that, 10 Arbalest. So this is definitely not a good trade for me. I do manage to salvage it a little bit, but this was a really good play from Daut. All right, he went out at the perfect time, and he got a really nice trade, and now he's going back. And I'm trying to use my range advantage, 5+3 versus 5+2, to get some decent trades. At this point, though, I'm starting to do a transition. I see a lot of skirmishers. I know that my army cannot beat skirmishers. By the way, I'm massing Trebs here as kind of a side note to take out his castle. But like I said, I can't beat skirms with this army. So instantly, I go for Eagle Warrior and I drop a few more barracks. Notice how I'm not spending my resources on more Arbalest and more Halbs, because as I said before, if they get countered, I don't want to have so many resources invested into them. I want to be able to tech switch, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And keep in mind, the Eagle Warrior is a very cheap unit that once I get all the upgrades, it's very easy to mass it, even with just 1 TC economy. Whereas Persians, if they want to mass Cavalier, maybe Paladin, they need a larger economy to do so. He's getting a second castle now. He wants to take the map. He's got a lot of skirmishers, and I think maybe another mistake from Daut here. Remember how I said I didn't want to mass Cav because they can get countered? I think he might be massing too many skirmishers, and he maybe didn't expect the Eagle switch from me. Again, I'm now getting Elite Eagle, and these skirms will be useless once Elite Eagle comes out. So look how many resources he's investing into them, and if Elite Eagle comes out, these guys will do very little. So those resources could have been better spent elsewhere, maybe on Paladin upgrade. So I think that's another mistake from Daut in this game. But again, it's very decision-making oriented and not so much like micro in this game, which I found really interesting. So I'm saving 3 Trebs. I'm picking the right moment to attack, because if I go too early and I get cleaned up, that's not going to be good for me. Remember, I only have 1 army. If I lose my army, I've got no economy to remake it. So I have to really pick my fights. Notice I'm playing very carefully with my army at the moment. So now he sees the Elite Eagle, actually. So how does Daut react to this? He stops making skirmishers. First step, stops making skirmishers. I'm not sure why he gets Stun Ring. It helps the skirms a bit, but not too much. I suppose it's fine. He's going to instead go for Paladin, most likely here. He's going to go for Paladin. He stopped making skirms, and remember when I said he overinvested into skirms? He got 60. And realistically, all he needed was 30. So he probably made twice as many skirms as he needed. And that food and wood could have been used to make more cav. Nonetheless, he's going to invest into Paladin now, as I'm investing into El Dorado, the elite tech that gives Elite Eagles plus 40 HP. And so right now he's doing fine. But I'm saving my Elite Eagles in my barracks, so I'm trying to get a good fight now with my tech transition. I'm keeping my Habs alive as well, because they're important to deal with a cav. I slip up there a little bit, and I pick my fight. Instantly he reacts by running back, and look at him, going for Paladin switch. So again, that's another move for him. He's at close to 200 pop now. His economy's kicked in, but I'm picking my moments. 3 Trebs are out. The Eagles are chasing the skirmishers. Arbalest protecting the Trebs. This is exactly what I've built up my entire game plan to do. These are 100 HP Eagles. This is my moment. I'm jumping on the skirmishers, and I'm then trying to whittle down the Cavalier when they come in. A lot of these are hurt, by the way. So this is going to be a really nice fight for me. Castle goes down, and I'm taking a huge fight. Remember, behind this, Daut has the better economy still. He's still on 125 bills. I'm on 72. So as long as he doesn't lose everything here, this game is still winnable, as the score says. Alright, so take a fantastic fight. Oh, he does a nice cheeky move there, jumps in the castle, jumps out. So he actually gets a good trade on my Arbalest. I think this is a mistake for me. I should have kept my Arbalest near my Trebs to keep them for later. I didn't really need them here. So big mistake for me, I think. But anyway, the Paladin kicks in. And the population, kind of even. 130 to 130, pretty much here. Now, even though I've got more military, he's got villagers, alright? So, it's same population, but it's a completely different situation in the game. I'm going for the second castle, and now Daut is struggling. Why? Because he's out of gold, and he doesn't really have an answer to my Halberdier. He sells some wood, goes for more gold and more paladin. But again, now, even though I have only Elite Eagle, I start to mix in Halbs here. So now I've got Halbs and Elite Eagles, and he only has Paladin. So you see how I'm winning based on army composition. And if he had made less skirms early and more Paladins early, I wouldn't have even got to the stage. He would have had way more resources and way more economy to win me over. So at this point, the game kind of unraveled for him very fast after both castles went down. And he ends up calling the GG here. So what did we learn from this game? Not a lot of micro went down, not a lot of intense fights. It was just walling up and making smart decisions on both sides. And this is why I really enjoyed this game. So let's recap here. He went for full wall in Dark Age. I went for feudal aggression to try and break in. He walled back and went for a fast castle. We both made 1 or 2 moves each here. I respond by just going back home. He goes for knights. I respond by going back home and waiting for Castle Age. He then responds with Mangonel when I hit Castle Age. However, instead of moving out with crossbows, I make another move and I go for Imperial Age. Now, he's stuck kind of on the back foot. He has to read my situation. He read it well, actually. I talked to him after the game. He knew what I was doing, and for that reason, he idled his economy. He stopped making vills, and he went for Imperial Age himself. Went for the Cavalier, took care of my Arbalest when I was in base. I responded with Halbs. He responded with Skirms. I responded with Eagles. He responded with Paladins. But in the end, I had just enough momentum to win with Eagles and Halbs, and the Paladin response was simply not enough. Beautiful game. I really enjoyed it. Daut really enjoyed it. Like I said, I'll leave a link to his Twitch channel in the description. You guys can check out the game from his perspective. But let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this kind of style. I wasn't going to stream this game, or I didn't stream this game, and I wasn't going to put it to YouTube. However, it was such a good one that I decided, hey, what the hell? Let's give it a go. So again, let me know what you think about the style of commentary after a game, and hopefully you did enjoy this particular one, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So take care, and bye for now.